Okay, so this is a bit of humble pie with this one. Why you should never just believe the trailer. The Outer World. So The Outer World is an action-packed RPG, first-person shooter type game, very much in the fold of Fallout. We're in a funny time at the moment. Fallout 76 was a car crash. Fallout First, the latest Bethesda monstrosity, is furthering the damage. So it's ironic that the next best Fallout isn't from Bethesda. Obsidian Entertainment. Fair play. So The Outer World sees you as a sort of a stranded passenger in cryostasis on a ship floating in space somewhere, and this random guy turns up and frees you. Straight away I'm thinking, right, the guy's a good guy, bad guy. I'm not sure, but it sets a real trend for this game. I'm only 2 hours in. Actually, I'm not. I'm a few, but I'll come to that. But the guy himself is you're not quite sure. Is he good? Is he bad? But that's the trend throughout this entire game. You spend your time meeting all these various kind of NPCs around the world, and they've all got their little shadowy bits. They've all got their light bits. They've got their good side, their bad side, and it's not always crystal clear as to who is the person that you should really be aligning to. Characters are really interesting in this game as well. I mean, it's a funny situation where you sometimes find yourself liking the characters you shouldn't and not liking the characters that you should. It's really in depth as well when you're talking to these characters and everything else. Is they've got so that it's all voice acted, but throughout you've got all these different options of conversation that you have with them, and every one option will open up 3 more options of conversation. You can genuinely spend 5-10 minutes with these characters chatting away before you excuse yourself and go, I've got things to do. The other thing as well is the game is totally, in the way that a lot of the Bethesda games, the Elder Scrolls and such were, is you can kill pretty much every character. I think, if I remember rightly, there's one character in the game you can't kill, but I don't know who that is. But the game itself, the setting is really good. Like I said, it's got a feeling of New Vegas to it. That's the game that it reminded me of the most. I remember watching the trailer and I got some nuances from various little genres and games and things, and I wasn't quite sure what I could expect from this game. So the trailer didn't really sell it for me, as I've put in my previous video. But yeah, this game is a pleasant surprise. Now, I will say, I don't like everything about this game, so straight away, I'm not a big fan of the graphics. The graphics look fine, by the way. The resolution, everything's great. It looks fine. It's the colour, the colour choices, the palette choices in the game, which I'm not a big fan of. Everything's really saturated, and I know that's the artistic style that they're going for, and I think we chatted about this in the trailer review. But I'm still not a fan of it. It's almost you've got cartoony elements versus real elements, and they don't mash together. We've seen this once or twice before, and that's fine for what it is. But in a video game, I'm struggling to kind of fit myself into that world because everything just seems that little bit too bright. You've got fluorescent monsters that you've got to kill. These like dog things, reptile things, and everything else that you've got to shoot. They're bright green, they're bright red. The NPCs, however, aren't. They're kind of quite bland, and I don't know. Graphics-wise, graphically good. Colour palette-wise, not for me. Gameplay-wise, though, anybody who's played the Elder Scrolls, anybody who's played any of the Fallouts, they will know this style of gameplay, and they will really enjoy it. There's a few sort of, I would say, artistic licenses which are taken when they've obviously tried to replicate what Bethesda have done. So you've got the certain things where you can hit a button and your time slows down so you can pick your shots. It's not quite the same system what they've got in Fallout, but it's clearly a copy of. And you do tend to find this throughout the game. You do tend to play through going, this plays like Fallout. This is a Fallout game. This is a Bethesda game. Which is fine. Do you know what? While Bethesda dropped the ball with all this Fallout 76 bullshit, Obsidian have come in and gone, actually, do you know what? While all your fan base are not happy with you, we'll give them a game that they want to play. And they've done it. It absolutely it's knocked the ball out of the park for me. As I say, some of the gameplay elements themselves, they are a little bit old school, but that's not a bad thing. This open world RPG, there are different arguments as to what constitutes as an RPG, as an open world RPG. The purists will say, well, I want an RPG that lets me pick all my stats, lets me choose what I want to do, when I want to do it, lets me go where I want to go, and lets me craft my own story. Also, as well, if you can give me some of it, I'd quite like to influence the world. This game absolutely does that. Straight from the opening kind of sequence, once you leave your pod, and there's a lot of comedic kind of things in this game as well, which really, really work. I'm always funny about comedy in games because sometimes it's cheap and it's a bit tacky and it's not very well scripted. In my last review of Shadow Warrior 2, I raised the fact that the comedy felt forced and it was too in your face. This one, it sort of is in your face, but it's quirky and it makes you smile. This is a no spoiler, so I'm not going to kind of give you the joke, but it sets the tone when your kind of escape pod hits the ground. The tone of the game is set quite well. But what I'm saying is, as far as the open world sort of mindset goes, is you don't have to go to that bit. So you do the little mini tutorial bit, which takes less than a minute. And then you're there in this open world. The world isn't very big, by the way. Now, there's various worlds. It's set in a system, so you can go to various planets, but the actual landscapes themselves are relatively small. So that's a little bit different from the Fallout thing, where you can, you can range. It's a little bit different. They're sizable. Don't get me wrong. It's not a small area, but it does feel. The game feels a little bit smaller. But again, is that a bad thing? No, it's just different. But the world's got plenty of places that you can explore. There's NPCs that you can kill. There's caves. There's camps. There's ruins that you can sort of search for. And generally, you're going out there and you're searching for weapons, ammunition, and all this kind of stuff. Standard sort of play. But again, so as far as that open world freedom to explore kind of requirement, if you like, that people want from a classic RPG, 100% got it. So stats for me is a big one when it comes to an RPG. This is one which I sort of feel that determines whether it's an RPG or not, is if I can craft my character in a way to match what I want. If I want a master chef who also happens to be a crack shot, well then I want to create that character. I don't want a game to restrict me and go, oh no, you can't be that and that. That's not real. From the start of the game, you can start crafting and put your points where you want to do. It's very, very intuitive as well. It's not a complicated system, but it works, and you feel the difference as well once you start ploughing points into whatever. Me myself, I went into range, so I started leveling up my assault rifles. You could feel the difference in the gameplay on the ground. It really, really works. Again, I'm only 2 hours into the game. Little asterisk, I'm not, but anyway. But yeah, straight away you feel the difference of putting those points into there. So it's really well done, and it actually has a genuine impact on the gameplay, which is what it's all about. You can have stats if you want, but if it doesn't affect actually how your character behaves and how effective your character is, then it's sort of pointless. So then the other point which I said is, and we've already kind of touched on it, is that can I do what I want in this world? Can I craft a different reality than the next guy that's playing this game? Can I do things that are going to alter my path towards the end? And with this game, it appears so. As I say, you can kill people. I've already met 3 or 4 NPCs that at some point I'm going to knock off because, I just don't like them. I've got a companion. She seems pretty cool. She's quite kind of, I think, aspirational in her thoughts. She's obviously a good guy. So I'm looking forward to seeing where that progresses. I think you get more. I don't know how many companions you get, but it's quite cool having a companion, so that's always a bonus. And I've already unlocked like about 10, 15 different weapons. I say unlock them. I haven't unlocked them because you don't unlock things in this game. You discover stuff, you find stuff, which is awesome. Again, role-playing games shouldn't involve you unlocking things. I'm talking figuratively speaking. You should be able to discover these things. I remember playing, I think it was Morrowind, and you could in theory, go and get an end game weapon straight away. There was a route you could do, and you'd have to corpse run it a little bit. But you could get to this house, to this farmhouse, and there was an obsidian weapon on the top of a wardrobe. You could go and get that. You couldn't use it at level 1 because you weren't strong enough to wield it. But, the point is that the game didn't stop you from going to that end content straight away. The game just basically goes, are you sure? So as I say, this game, I don't know how open it is on that front. We will see. But yeah, do you know what? It's a really, really good game. Guys, I'm struggling to find fault with this game. I could have a whinge about the saturation, and yeah, I'm not a fan of the graphics. I don't particularly like that kind of that style, but I can live with it. It's not game breaking. It doesn't take me out of the game as such. I just wouldn't have it in there myself. But the game itself, I'm 5 hours in. I know this is a 2-hour game review, so I was going to do my 2 hours, record this, and then probably go back to it. But I couldn't put it down. I sat there for a 3rd, 4th, 5th hour. Absolutely loved the game. It got me from, I would say, the first 20 minutes I was hooked. It hasn't slowed. In fact, the pace has increased and increased. The gameplay is getting better and better. I'm kind of waiting now. I'm on the next bit. So, it's a great game. Put it this way. For anybody who likes the old school Bethesda games, anything from the Fallout series or anything from, not 76, but anything from the Fallout series prior to the kind of shite that we've got at the moment, anybody who's enjoyed the Elder Scrolls games, give this game a go. It is absolutely superb. And the best part is it's on the Game Pass. It's absolutely free. You can buy the game. I don't know how long it's going to be on Game Pass for. I couldn't tell you, but do you know what? There's no reason not to be downloading this game and playing it. It is absolutely superb. Takes a little while to get into. There's a few bugs and things like that. But do you know what? I'm not even going to raise them because fantastic game. Really, really good. So this is the point where I do the review. I've kind of given most of it away throughout this kind of review as such. But I thoroughly recommend this game. I'm going to score the game, as we do, out of 10 standard, but it works. And I'm going to give this game a solid 9 out of 10, which makes it my highest rated game so far. So guys, all in all, this game, great storyline, great characters, great action. It plays well, it controls well. Graphically, it will divide people, but the game itself, as I say, if you are needing a Fallout fix, if Fallout 76 has burnt you on Bethesda, if this new Fallout First has like most of us, pissed you off, don't worry about it now. The Outer Worlds, this is the game for you. I promise you, this is the game. You will absolutely love it. Immerse yourself, dive in deep, and really, really enjoy it. Prepare to lose some hours on this game. So there you go, guys. I've got a positive review on the Game Pass. Finally, we're kind of 4 or 5 games in now, so we're getting there. There are some really good games on the Game Pass, by the way. Some of the cheap ones, which I was going to do a review on, but I feel that I don't need to give you a review on Forza and things like that. It's a given with games like that. So I am still sticking with the games that I haven't played before, and perhaps that a lot of people won't have played or won't have come across or will have forgotten. But as I say, this game for me, absolute cracking game. Download it, play it, and tell me what you think about it. Until the next one, guys, we'll catch you soon.